Misa Charger Binks. Misa bomb bad, real bad. Misa gonna do you real good.
Hey, so I heard that you're wanting to join my smuggling operation.
What?
I said you're here to join my smuggling operation.
Huh?
Hold on one minute. Hey guys, can you turn down the music a little bit? I'm trying to do some business right here. Guys, could you turn down the music? I'm trying to do some business right here. Here, hold this. I'll take care of this. I'll tell you what, that guy won't be wailing jizz anymore, if you know what I mean, right? So, let's get back to business. You want to join my smuggling operation, right?
You killed them all.
Don't worry about it. They'll be fine.
No, you shot him in the face.
Oh, his face will grow back. Don't worry about it.
I don't know if I want to join your smuggler operation anymore.
What? They shot first! Hello everybody, we're back from going and seeing Solo. So what did you think about the movie?
I thought it was enjoyable.
It was enjoyable, awfully long. I think it was well over the 2-hour mark easily. And, I mean, it was good. I wouldn't say it was mediocre. I wouldn't say it was bad. It was nowhere near as bad as everybody's been making it out to be, though it did have a couple little Kathleen Kennedy finger grabs in there. How she's always got to throw in this, women power, male, anti-men movement. Because like the one character, the cyborg robot, whatever. Oh my God, that was like the biggest stupid ass, worthless character they could have had in that movie. Other than that, the only other thing that bothered me about the movie is so many damn parts in it where they're trying to make you worry about either Solo or Chewbacca or all these main characters that you know ain't gonna fucking die. Always in some sort of predicament where they're like, oh my God, Chewbacca's gonna die or Solo's gonna get shot, and it's like, obviously not. I mean, like every action sequence they had something along the lines of that thrown in where you're like, well, I know that he's not gonna die here. I know he's not gonna, maybe get hurt, but in the end, the only downfall I would say to the movie was the fact that way too many parts where they're trying to make you think something bad's gonna happen to him when you know nothing bad is gonna happen to him. Bad's, I'd say, just fucking get him killed, actually.
Well, that is a weakness of prequels.
Yeah.
And anything that's already been told, you can expect these characters to live through it.
Yeah, because you already know, kind of like with Rogue One, you knew what was basically going to happen. You knew how it was going to end.
See, that one had an all-original cast of characters, though. You really didn't get too many returning characters. I mean, yeah, Darth Vader, but his role was minimum. And
so, you said that you have the actual books, and do you feel like this movie was loosely based off one of those books? Did they cherry pick information out of the books, or was it actually...
Now, I have the trilogy. I've read the first book out of the trilogy.
Yeah.
And there are parts of it that kind of coexist with the way things were told. It was told a bit differently. For the most part, it's new. A whole lot of new stuff. It doesn't follow the book. It has some of the flavors of the book. Very few flavors, but...
Chewbacca... perfect. I mean, come on, how you screw up Chewbacca? Though I thought it was a bit kind of shoehorned in on a lot of aspects of where they were trying to get these people that met for the first time, like how Solo met Lando for the first time, and he met Chewbacca for the first time. It seemed rushed and kind of, really kind of shoved in. It's like, oh, we're just going to kill you by throwing you into this monster we haven't fed in 3 days, and it just so happened to be Chewbacca, and he just so happened to know how to speak the same language as Chewbacca.
The speaking the same language as Chewbacca didn't exactly bother me. I do agree that a lot of those moments, a lot of those historical items and moments that they referenced throughout the original trilogy were forced into a small period of time.
Yeah. And, the guy that played Lando Lake's Butterman, he did a good job because he actually tried playing, Billy D. Williams? Was that the guy?
I believe so.
Yeah, he actually played the character very similar to the way Billy D did. While the actor they have playing Han Solo, other than the fact that him saying he's Han Solo and kind of not even really dressing like Han Solo did, because he changed his clothes, later on, he wasn't really bad, but he wasn't really good.
Those were big shoes to fill. Filling in Harrison Ford's shoes and one of his 2 or 3 most iconic moments in movie history.
He should have had more mannerisms that defined what Han Solo had. He didn't have those mannerisms, and throughout the whole movie, I didn't think they really evolved him at all. I mean, he could have evolved a little bit, but it was just the same stuff. It's like, hey, my name's Han. Well, what's your last name? I don't have a last name. Well, you're by yourself, so you're Solo. Han Solo. Here's some lucky dice. By the way, you're going to hang out with me. Here's your pistol that you got. Even though he did fire first at the end, which I thought was kind of interesting. But, in the end, I think the movie was too damn long. They had a lot of action sequences that, believe it or not, I felt they didn't need to have. They could have trimmed it down significantly, not have so many scenes where you're like, oh my God, they might die, when they're not going to. It did have a pretty interesting thing involving the Kessel Run, though.
That was probably one of the better action scenes in the movie, too.
Yeah.
And it involved the Millennium Falcon. Han was right at home in that.
Yeah, so a nice... explanation for that, and I always get it wrong. What, parsecs or whatever?
Yeah, 12 parsecs.
12
which
parsecs.
Isn't even a unit of time.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, that was really cool. The effects were really well done. Like I said, the acting wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad movie. It was an entertaining movie. I would not see myself being able to watch it again, and it did not seem to have the magic that most of the other Star Wars movies had to it. Had a couple parts where the music would swell up, but honestly, some of the other Star Wars movies here lately have lost what made them Star Wars in the first place. It's all special effects and laser blasts anymore. And
George Lucas did that to the prequel trilogy, the prequel trilogy wasn't the greatest.
Well, he just didn't know how to write anything worth a shit near the end of his, career. I mean, it was all about, what can we do with some computer generation? So it's like, I like the fact that it had a mix of practical effects and CGI effects, and it had neat characters and everything. And the story was decent. Like I said, it's an average movie. It's not, to my personal feelings, it was average. It wasn't mediocre. It wasn't a bad movie, but at the same time, it was not a spectacular blockbuster movie. So I can see this one, probably it'll make its money back. It's got Star Wars attached to it, but it's not going to be a huge blockbuster by far. I mean,
there's a good chance it's going to be forgotten among the other Star Wars movies.
Yeah. Han Solo, you can't even see him. Well, I'd like to say now, spoiler territory. But there's not too many spoilers in this movie. I mean, honestly, what was the main spoiler you could come up with?
Oh, boy. Darth Maul's in it.
Darth Maul is in it for a very short bit. And he kind of leads you on to thinking that the girl that Han Solo is pretty much trying to track down through the whole movie, his main excuse for wanting to become a pilot and going out on his own was to meet back with his love, his girl, that he loves so much. And it turns out that she's evil, pretty much evil. Just about everybody in the damn movie's evil.
That was kind of the point. Even the dude Han Solo was hanging out with kept telling him, "Hey, don't trust anybody. Don't trust them." And everybody kept stabbing Han Solo in the back.
Woody Harrelson, which honestly,
Woody Harrelson was great.
Woody Harrelson did a very good job. He was very serious, and this movie had like one funny part in it, and it wasn't really funny.
There were other parts that it felt like they wanted them to be funny. They just weren't delivered.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah. They could have been better. There were parts that I wanted to laugh at, but just couldn't.
So, in the end, I would say that's pretty much it for the movie. Not too many spoilers, because there's really not much to spoil with this movie.
Very straightforward.
Very straightforward. I'd say buy the books, but more like connect the dots in this case.
Yeah.
Like I said, the script was... like I said, average at best. The acting was fairly decent, considering what they had to work with. Ron Howard coming on and finishing the directing, to make sure the movie got out, did a fairly decent job with it. I mean, it's cohesive. I mean, it's got the beginning, it's got a middle, it's got an end to it. The editing is not really out of whack, so if you watch the movie, it's not really going to make you scratch your head and go, I don't really understand the flow of this movie. So it did flow nicely. And had some action parts to it, had a decent ending, but in the end it's just something like, honestly, like what you said, you can go and see Deadpool 2 a couple more times and you still get a good amount of laughs out of it and everything. While I think Solo is a one-time event, literally it lives up to its name, Solo.
I think it's going to tie into some other movies. The way it ended was open-ended. It was a very open-ended movie.
Solo 2, Electric Boogaloo.
It might not be Solo, but I'm pretty sure...
He thinks it's going to tie into the Boba Fett movie he knows about.
I'm pretty sure Tobias Beckett was Boba Fett.
That's
They never
what
said anything about it in the movie, but there's a lot of similarities.
Now that and this lady pretty much in cahoots with Darth Maul, and Darth Maul said, I'm going to keep you really close, like he's going to train her or something. So, it'll be interesting to see.
Use her.
It would be interesting to see. In the end, this was me, Nate, a.k.a. Devil Dog, and I was here with...
Captain Blockhead.
And we always want to say, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, the devil is in the details. And may the Schwartz be with you. Peace out.
Can I get that Schwartz flamethrower now?